last class we have discussed about why sexual reproduction, significance of sexual reproduction, and how chromosomes are maintained in the human body, differentiation between the germ cells, sperm and egg we have discussed. Today we are going to discuss about sexual reproduction in plants. Sexual reproduction in flowering plants. Sexual reproduction in flowering plants. So usually in public exam, sexual reproduction in plants and in human being compulsory 1 3-mark questions or 5-mark question compulsory will come from sexual reproduction in plants and in human being. 3-mark or 5-mark question compulsory will come from this chapter. Okay. Now, sexual reproduction in flowering plants. So before start this topic, just to remember parts of a flower. Parts of a flower you have already learned the grade 6, grade 7 you have already learned. Just you recall it. Parts of a flower. Parts of a flower. So there are different parts are there in the flower. The first part is sepal. Sepal. The sepal also called as calyx. The second part is petals. The petal is also called corolla. This is a calyx, this is a corolla. And third part is stamen. Stamen. The stamen is a male reproductive organ of a flower. The fourth one is pistil. Is a female reproductive organ of a flower. So these are the different parts which is present in a flower. Okay, so that the flower is called as a reproductive parts of the plant. The flower is called the reproductive parts of the plant. And which is vegetative parts of the plant? We have already discussed root, stem and leaf. These are the vegetative parts of the plant. These are the reproductive parts of the plant. Which one? The stamen and pistil. These two only will involve in reproduction. Remaining two, sepal and petal, is a non-reproductive part. Non-reproductive parts. Then what is the function of sepal and petal? The sepal is act as it gives protection. Protect the flower when the flower is in egg or bud condition. So it gives protection to the flower and also provides starch. It provides starch to the growing flower. So this is not involved in the reproduction directly. Okay, so the sepal is also called as a calyx. It's a non-reproductive part. Then what is the function of the sepal? Which protect the flower in bud condition and also provides starch to growing flower. Next one is petal. The petal also called as corolla. The petal also called as corolla. This is also non-reproductive part Then what is the function of, what is the role of the petal? No? The petal is a colorful, different colors, yellow, red, orange, like that. It is a different colors. So it is involved in pollination. Okay, we discuss later what is a pollination. So before fertilization, the pollination will occur. So it is a colorful, this petal, so that it is attract the insects for carry the pollen grains to the stigma. Okay, so these are non-reproductive parts, and this stamen and pistil reproductive parts. These two only involved in the reproduction, not sepal and petal. So these are the different parts of the flower. Next, structure of the flower. Structure. Okay, the first structure. This is called sepal. The first one, sepal or calyx. This is stigma, this is style, and this is ovary. This stigma, style and ovary, this collectively called as pistil. It's a female part. The pistil is present in the center part of the flower, which comprises stigma, style and ovary. This petals. Petal is a colorful. Sepal is a green color. Petal is colorful, maybe a red, orange, green, yellow, like the different colors. This one called as anther, and this is filament. Okay, this is the structure of the flower. This anther and filament collectively called as a stamen. Anther and filament collectively called as a stamen. So these are the structure of the flower. Okay, again, sepal is a green in color. It is not involved in the reproduction, which is gives a protection to the growing flower, and also provides nutrition to the growing flower. The petal is colorful, different colors, which is attract the insects for pollination. Is a type of process which occurs before fertilization. And the center part of the flower, that is called ovary. Okay, sorry, center part of the flower, that is called pistil. The pistil comprises three parts. The first part is stigma, the second part is style, and third part is ovary. So these are the includes in the pistil. The ovary contains many ovules. The ovary contains many ovules. Each ovule contains egg cell. Each ovule contains egg cell, that is a female germ cell. Like that, the anther is there now. The anther produces pollen grains, that is act as a male gamete. Act as a male gamete. So these are the structure of the flower and parts of the flower. This is very important. Very important. Stamens. What is a stamen? Is a male reproductive part of a flower. The stamen is present like this. If you observe the hibiscus plant, you can see some yellowish structures in the flower. That is stamen. The stamen contains pollens. This is a male gamete. So this is an anther. This is filament. So collectively called as stamens. Inside the anther, there is a pollen grains. The structure of the pollen grains. This is structure of the pollen grains. So inside there is a nucleus. Nucleus present inside the nucleus. Okay, again it's a stamen which is a male reproductive part of the flower. It consists of anther and also there is a filament, collectively called as a stamen. The anther produces pollen grains, so male gamete. Like that, pistil is a female part. Ovary, stigma and style. Okay, it is a collectively called as a pistil. It comprises stigma, style and ovary. Here what is stigma? In the top of the flower, there is a sticky nature structure that is called a stigma. It has sticky nature. And below the long part, below the stigma, there is a long part that is called the style. The bottom of the pistil, there is a swollen part. Bottom of the pistil, there is a swollen part that is called ovary. The ovary contains ovules. And also there is a egg cell. It's a female gamete. Here ovules are present. And egg cells are present. Okay, again the stigma, style, ovary. These are collectively called as a pistil. The pistil is present in the center part of the flower. Center part of the flower is called as a pistil. Okay, this is a male and female reproductive part. Now Before that, you should know what is the reproduction, producing young ones. Production of young ones called reproduction. How it is occurs in the plants? There should be a fusion of male and female gametes. That is called fertilization. The fertilization should occur. Then only zygote will form. Zygote undergoes many changes. Then embryo form. From the embryo only, the new plants are developed. Okay. So before the fertilization, pollination should occur. Pollination is a process which occurs before the fertilization. Now, what is pollination? The pollination means transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma. From anther to stigma. The transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma. The process called as a pollination. Pollination compulsory should occur. Okay, there are two types of pollination. Pollination types. The first type is self-pollination. The second type is cross-pollination. There are two types of pollinations are there, self and cross-pollination. What is self-pollination? Transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma of a same flower. The transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma of a same flower. So this is called self-pollination. The transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma of a same flower. Call it as a self-pollination. And also cross-pollination. What is the cross-pollination? Same, but the transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma, one flower to another one. That is called as cross-pollination. Transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma from one flower to another. For example, here pollen grains are there. The pollen grains are transferred from anther to stigma. This is self-pollination. The same flower. If it is occurs in a different flower or another one flower, that is called as a cross-pollination. So very important one, self-pollination and cross-pollination. Okay, differentiation question will come. Differentiate between the self and cross-pollination. Okay, it's very important. And before that, we should know types of flower. Okay, what are the types? There are two types. The first type is unisexual flower. What does it mean by uni? Uni means what? A single. Unisexual flower means either female parts present. That is called unisexual flower. Uni means single. So in the flower, either male part or female part, any one part only present in the flower. That flower is called as unisexual flower. Examples. Example for the unisexual flower: papaya and watermelon. Watermelon. Okay, so together example for the unisexual flower. You know various examples for the unisexual flower, so don't write which is given in the textbook. You follow the examples, because when they set answer key for the public exam correction, which is given in the textbook exam only available in the answer key, your answer may correct, but that answer, that example, we cannot say in present in the answer key which is they set. So maximum you follow the book examples. Okay, so type of flower, first two type is unisexual flower, and second type, bisexual flower. Bi means what? You know, bi means two. Bi means two. Both male and female reproductive organs present. Both male and female reproductive structures are present in the same flower. That is called as bisexual flower. Examples. The first example is hibiscus. Hibiscus. The second example, mustard. Mustard. Okay, hibiscus and mustard. So, example for the bisexual flower. The question will come, differentiate between the unisexual flower and the bisexual flower, or else define unisexual flower with example, define bisexual flower with example, like the question will arise. Okay, now comes the point, self-pollination, cross-pollination. Self-pollination means transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma of a same flower. This is called self-pollination. Cross-pollination, transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma from one flower to another. This is called cross-pollination. Cross-pollination. So differentiation questions also arise. Self and the differentiation between the self and the cross-pollination. Now we are going to see advantages of self-pollination, disadvantages of self-pollination. We discuss. Advantages of self-pollination. The pollination, self-pollination we know. What is the advantages? If self-pollination occurs, what are the advantages are there? What are the advantages are there? The first advantage is pollination. Pollination confirm. Pollination confirm, because the male and female reproductive structures are there, so maximum pollination occurs. Maximum pollination occurs. Second one, no need depend on pollinating agents. Pollinating agents. which is help for the pollination. These are called the pollinating agents. What are they? Pollinating agents? Example: water, wind, animals. These are pollinating agents. These help for the pollination. For example, when animal cross a plant, the pollen grains are attached on the animal's body, and wherever animals move, the pollen grains are transported, distributed, or is help to pollination. And water. The water also carries pollen grains from under to stigma. And next one is wind. The heavy wind carry the pollen grains because the pollen grains are weightless, light-weighted. So easily will carry one to another one flower. Okay, or else one to the same flower also. Yes. So these are help for the pollination, so called pollinating agents. And third one is preserve. Parental characters. Preserve parental characters. That means here the pollination occurs same flower. So what will happen? Which is produce egg one. The offspring will have a same character. Because the flower occurs in the same flower. The parents are similar. So what will happen? It produces the same characters which have the parent, which produce the offspring. The offspring will have the same characters which have a parent. So that the parental characters are preserved. Okay, so these are some advantages of the pollinating, self pollination, and disadvantages of self pollination. Some disadvantages are there. What are the disadvantages? The first one is no new varieties. New characteristics organism not possible. Why? Because here the parent are similar, same, not a different parent. Because the pollination occurs in the same flower, so the parent are same. So what will happen? The same characters only will transfer to the offspring. So what will happen? There is no chance for the variation. So without variation, what will happen? The same characteristic offsprings are produced. So what happened? No new varieties. Okay. So if there is no varieties, no chance for evolution. Because the variation only brings to the evolution. Of here, no way for the variation. Then how evolution comes? Okay, so it's disadvantages. Okay, and another one, the weaker offspring produce continuously. Will produce continuously. How weaker offspring will produce? For example, if a parent plant is not healthy, is weak, okay, have diseases or not able to produce more yielding. So like that, some problem may there in the parent plant. So when the plant produce young ones or offspring, the same characters will have the offspring. So what will happen? The weaker characters, okay, are produced continuously. So what will happen? We don't get any new characters. So these are the advantages and the disadvantages of the self-pollination. Actually, it is not in the textbook. Anyhow, just to know what is advantages, disadvantages. Okay, that's all. Next, we are going to see advantages of cross-pollination and disadvantages of cross-pollination. Advantages of cross-pollination and disadvantages of cross-pollination we are going to see. What are the advantages? What are the advantages? The first advantage is new characteristics offspring developed. New characteristic offspring developed. How the new characteristic offspring developed? Because the pollination occurs one to another one flower. So what happened? The different characteristics parents are involved. So what will happen? There are more chance for the variation. So what will happen? The new characteristic offspring developed. Okay. And second one is possibility for variation. Because the new characters are developed, then there is a possible for the variation. And what are the important characters parents having? The same characters are inherited. What are the parent have character? The same characters are inherited one to the next generation. Okay, so these are the advantages of the cross pollination. And disadvantages. The first disadvantages is more wastage of pollen grains. More wastage of pollen grains. Why there are more wastage of pollen grains? Because the cross pollination occurs from one to another one flower. So the distance may be long. So what will happen? We cannot give a surety all the pollen grains reach to the stigma. We cannot expect it. We cannot give a surety. So what will happen? Many of the pollen grains may fail to reach stigma. So more pollen grains are waste in this process. And second one is need to depend on pollinating agents. Pollinating agents. Why should depend the pollinating agent? Because the distance of the flower. Okay, we don't know how far it is. So, how to depend the pollinating agents for carry the pollen grains from anther to stigma. Carry the pollen grains from anther to stigma. Okay, so it always depends on pollinating agents such as water, animals, and wind. So these are the disadvantages of cross pollination. Cross pollination. How the pollen grains attached on the stigma. For example, this is stigma. The stigma is a sticky nature. This are pollen grains. These are pollen grains. So it is a sticky nature. So what will happen? Easily it is attached on the stigma. Okay, sticky nature is there, and also the pollen grains surface are rough and tough. So easily it is attached. Okay, like this is attached to stigma and travel through the style and reach to the ovary, and female germ cells are there, and fuse, male and female germs are fused, that is fertilization. Okay, compulsory before fertilization, pollination should occur. Pollination should occur. Then only possible fertilization. Because the male and female gametes are in separate areas. Okay, so that should be come closer. That should be fused. Okay, then only fertilization occur. Okay, so these are the advantages and disadvantages of the self and cross pollination. Okay, now we have discussed about parts of the flower. What are the parts? Petals, sepals, stamens, pistil. The stamen is a male reproductive parts of the flower and pistil is a female reproductive part of the flower. The pistil comprises stigma, style and ovary. Stigma, style and ovary. And where the pistil is present in the center part of the flower. In the center part of the flower, pistil is present. Okay, what is the function of the sepal and petals? The sepal is green in color. Okay, it protects the flower in bud condition and also provide nutrition to the growing flower. The petals is involved in the pollination. How it is involved in the pollination? Because it's a colorful, no? So that it attracts the insect. So the insect sits on the flower for taking nectar or honey. The time the pollen grains attached on their body and it sits on the other flower. The insect sits on the other flower. What happened? Which is attached on their body, no, drops on the same flower or any different flower some way. Okay, it is transferred. So that the petals involved in the pollination. And the male and female reproductive part involved in the fertilization. Okay, and the types of flowers we have discussed. There are two types, unisexual flower and bisexual flower. What is unisexual flower? Either male or female reproductive part present, either any one. So that it is called a unisexual flower. Example, papaya and watermelon. And bisexual flower. Both male and female reproductive structures are present in the same flower called bisexual flower. Examples, hibiscus and watermelon. And pollinating agents. Before fertilization, pollination should occur. Okay, what is the pollination? Pollinating agents, wind, water and animals which is help for the pollination. Okay, so these are the pollinating agents. Then what is the pollination? The transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma called pollination. There are two types of pollination, self-pollination and cross-pollination. What is self-pollination? The transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma of a same flower, called self-pollination. And cross-pollination, the transfer of pollen grain anther to stigma from one to another flower called cross-pollination. And differentiate between self and cross-pollination. The question will arise. And advantages and disadvantages of self and cross-pollination. So these things we have discussed today. Kindly read line by line again and again. I used to say this only because from this chapter compulsory one 5-mark question, one 3-mark question will come. And very important also, in the higher classes the same in 12th the same lesson is there. If you cannot understand all, you will face a trouble in the higher standard, 12th you will face. So kindly read a line by line. Okay, any doubt contact us, and also complete the worksheets, very important, because first you watch videos, then you read the textbook line by line, and the same time you do the worksheet, then only you will be thorough in a concept. That may be any subject, not only my subject, any subject. Then only you will get doubts and you will understand the concept. Okay, or else if you don't do this, what will happen? It's a waste of time only. So kindly follow the videos, complete the worksheets. Thank you.